Hello, I'm Monica Capra. I'm a professor of economic science at Claremont Graduate University in Claremont, California.
Hi, my name is Michelle Vaughn, and I am on the campus at the University of Arizona, and I work in the Center for the Philosophy of Freedom. And today I am here with Monica Capra. The Freedom Center's Visiting Fellows Program, which Monica is a part of, doesn't just bring bright minds to campus. It ignites a synergy between renowned academics like yourself and the University of Arizona, as well as the Freedom Center. What is your current research and what was the paper you just submitted?
Yeah, so the paper is actually about using AI, specifically large language models, such as ChatGPT or Cloud, to model specific groups of individuals and create a synthetic agent representative of that group and subject the synthetic agent to experiments. You could use AI as a way to profile representative individuals of groups. And if you want to pilot, let's say, an intervention, you could use the kind of profile synthetic agent to kind of educate the hypothesis you will develop. So, for example, suppose that you are interested in doing a policy intervention, such as micro-policy interventions, such as microfinancing, let's say, in a village in Bolivia. So microfinance is an example that some development economists have used to kind of provide certain groups who traditionally don't have access to credit, a way to have access to credit, right? So one big hurdle for development is the inability of many people to access credit. So you can have let's say a program of microcredit, microfinancing in a village, and you may want to know how to best implement it. So right now there are no ways in which you could pilot that, and piloting in the field is extremely expensive, right? So there are some limitations in what you can do for piloting such an intervention. So the idea is to use large language models so that you profile, you create an agent like a chatbot representing that specific population, and then you can subject that represented agent to different interventions.
How is what you're studying, and in particular your fellowship here that you're going to be here 3 weeks now, 3 weeks in the spring, how does that tie back to our mission, which, as you know, is all about freedom and how do we promote healthy discourse, healthy discussion, so we can have a discussion like this. We may be on different sides, but we're going to walk away with an understanding of each other. I want to see how, because I know it does, I want to see how that ties into our mission.
Yeah, so the LLM, large language model study that I just mentioned is one part of my research, but I'm also working on kind of more traditional behavioral economics questions. One of them is information avoidance, and that's in collaboration with a colleague in Claremont. So what motivates certain behaviors? So I look at two types of behaviors. One is prosocial behavior through volunteering, and the other is information consumption. Okay. So what motivates people to learn about something, and what motivates people to be prosocial, to volunteer or give to charity? So there is this idea that a lot of it is about self-signaling value. So we kind of do not know who we are, and through our actions we learn about who we are and what our values are. So I may actually choose to volunteer to tell myself that I am a generous person, that I'm altruistic and I'm moral, for example. And related to information, if there is information that will contradict that self-perception, I might actually avoid it. So I feel having a more interdisciplinary approach to understanding this self-perception and the need to self-signal moral behavior is a very deeply psychological and philosophical question that will be interesting to be approached from an interdisciplinary perspective. So that's in prosocial behaviors. And the second one is
before you leave that one, the moral wiggle room, I'm tying it back to a real world example. We're talking, we're on different sides of the issue. that justification of my position, would that be considered moral wiggle room? I just so want to think that I'm right and it's not harming another for my opinion or my thoughts.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And that's linked with the other part, which is this information avoidance, right?
Okay.
So
I definitely want to hear more
and there
about
is a
that.
link with this emphasis of the center to kind of promote open dialogue about things that you might not agree with. You know,
Be
it's
uncomfortable
difficult.
with.
So this research will give a kind of a deeper understanding for why these conversations are difficult. And if it's taught to the students that this is the reason why they're difficult, I think they will be more open to actually engage in open discussion.
If I am a person and I'm in a discussion with somebody who's pro this and I'm not pro this, how can I have a productive discussion? What can I do with my language and my behavior to encourage my own not having information avoidance? And if I find somebody on the other side is doing that, information avoidance, give me very concrete, tactical tips that I can make that conversation happen.
I will start with one that is actually not part, I haven't researched it, but I
But
strongly,
it's a good one.
yeah, it is the 80-20 rule. 80% is listening, 20% is talking. So that's number one. And then the second is just being aware. There's, what's called confirmation bias. You just want to consume. People are in this kind of information bubbles. They just want to consume information that is consistent with their beliefs. And that's kind of another side of this kind of information avoidance. So you actively consume information consistent with your beliefs, but information avoidance, you actively avoid information that might actually challenge your beliefs.
So the 80-20 rule, listen 80% and talk 20%, and awareness of our own confirmation bias and our own information avoidance.
That's right, yeah.
Two really solid tips.
And I would say that the third would be to be scientific about things. Science is, we're constantly searching for truth, right? We don't have the truth. It's the science is the process of the searching for it. You have to take a step and be humble. And that's sometimes difficult for young people, but it seems that they are designed to be overconfident. I think that's something that we could try to teach, that being humble is part of the learning process.